Hello dears, and welcome back to the channel Benidorm by Anna, where we share with you a lot of interesting and useful information from Benidorm town and Spain in general. Today is cloudy, so we're able to head down to the lovely beach of Albia right here near the anchor to let you know, as usual, on every Monday and Friday the latest news update from Spain. And for today we have a really important news coming up for you, not only for tourists and what you are and are not allowed to bring back from Spain to UK, including souvenirs and food, as well as for residents here in Spain, British residents that started to receive really concerning messages from their banks. And also we'll talk about the Easyjet and Ryanair strikes, how eventually everything ended up. So let's start with that one first, with the situation in Spain as per the flights. Easyjet has cancelled the last 3 days for this weekend for their strike because they finally came into agreement with the company. Eventually, at the end of all this, it took their time. However, they listened at least to their workers, and they've accepted some of the improvements that the company's workers were asking for. First of all, what they said is in the next couple of years they will sum up the salary. They will increase the salary by 22%, so it's going to be gradual. 4% this year, starting from March already, they'll pay them all the extras. For next year it's going to be 15%, and then the remaining 5% more or less should be there for 2024. Also, what they did is, if you have many languages and you're working at the airport, this will sum up as extra. The more languages you speak, the better, obviously, for the company. And they, in general, they just offer better working conditions for the members of Easyjet. The total opposite in here would be Ryanair. You know that Ryanair was one of the first companies that has started all this, has started strikes, and this is the company that completely went the opposite way. They deny in talking with the members of the organizations, with the workers, and actually they fired 11 people already for their totally human right, illegal right to go on strike. 11 people were fired already, and more than 100 have an open an open document that is in your file, in your personal file as a worker, that gives like a negative aspect that you went on strike once, you know. Due to all this, due to the fact that they are not cancelling anything at all, what Ryanair workers are doing is that they've confirmed already. Before it was something like a cloud, you know, moving. It was not clear if they're going to do that or not. But right now they've confirmed already that there's going to be new strikes starting from 8th of August up until January 2023. So all the rest half of a year that is waiting for us, the company will be on strike every single week from Monday till Thursday. Obviously, it's now weekend, so it's not as busy, but still, from Monday till Thursday, up until January, if nothing changes, they will go on strike. Also, they're claiming to bring back the workers that were fired and close the sanctionary documents open for more than 100 workers that had a full human right to go on strike, but somehow the company did not like that and wants to punish them. So we'll see what's going to be happening. I'm glad that Easyjet did their thing. However, I'm not happy with how Ryanair is doing things. I just don't get, they don't want to negotiate with the workers. They're just doing it the worst way possible. And obviously it's affecting tourists in a lot of areas. Here in Alicante, not too much, unless there's like various flights coming in a very close amount of time together. But if not, mostly affected are the islands, for example, are bigger cities and bigger airports. So let's hope all this will be resolved soon. However, with Ryanair company just treating employees like that, I get why they went on strike, not gonna lie. The second news that I wanted to share with you all is the recent news that started to go in a lot of different UK newspapers and here in Spain as well, in Spanish newspapers too, regarding British residents here in Spain that officially have a residency here, that live permanently basically here in Spain, and travel back and forth or live here at all times apart from UK. So what is happening is that they've started to receive a lot of letters from their banks, different banks. It's Lloyds Bank, which is like one of the biggest ones. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I do think it's like one of the biggest ones. Barclays as well. Like a lot of banks, they started to send letters saying that your account will be closed shortly due to the change of the law, due to that it's post-Brexit era already, that UK cannot operate with European Union any longer in this way, and it's just really, really expensive, you know, for banks to exchange information. So they're closing the accounts for residents in different countries. Not all countries will be affected, if I'm not wrong. There is like a complete list, so you need to check that in advance. But a lot of people who live here in Spain will be actually affected by that. And they say that their products were created to use within UK, so they're not suitable to use without the economic area of the European Union. And they say it does not affect mortgages or loans, obviously, because you owe something to the country, you know, then it's not going to be affected. But if it's a savings account, if it's just a general account where you receive, I don't know, salary, if you work like on a distance, where you receive your pension every single month, these accounts will be affected and will be closed by the end of this year. The reality is that the majority of UK residents throughout a lot of different European Union countries and European zone countries, what they have is they'll just be abandoned by UK banks and by financial advisors as well, because a lot of financial advisors, they won't be able to have the access. They will not be able to combine taxes, you know, in between and just work with Spain. So they'll just need to stop working, as well as other services, you know, that were provided previously for all expats that are living here. It's just going to be really, really hard. People are afraid. I guess that a lot of people, they just did not realize how many changes there will be happening after the Brexit will be over. A lot of people did not realize what it actually means. These are basically the consequences. It's right now when we start to see all the consequences. You know, all the additional documents that will be asked every now and then, and eventually will be asked to everyone who traveled to Spain. Because it's not European Union any longer, you know, the limit of money that you need to have, the accommodation confirmation, like a lot of different things that before you would not even think about it. And right now, ETIAS as well, that you will need to visa waiver, you know, that you'll need to fill in starting from next year, May, obligatory too. There's a lot of things that makes people worry, and not gonna lie, it makes us worry as well, because you know, we depend a lot on British tourism. We depend a lot on people who are coming here to the country, a lot of hotels in here. Basically, that's the main engine of our area. And in Spain in general, that's a huge part of Spanish economy, the tourism. So especially British, if they won't be coming as much in here, or if people will not be buying, selling properties here as well, you know, if there's not going to be as much movement with the UK any longer, people are worried what's going to be happening, if there's going to be any other tourism that will take place instead, or the region will suffer a lot, especially UK, like all the British bars, all the places that are oriented to this type of tourism. What if they won't have clients any longer? So, but we'll see what will be happening. Anyhow, right now, a lot of people are receiving these letters, so they do have some time to figure out how to do things and search for another bank before their account is actually closed. If you need to receive any kind of income from UK and you're not allowed to maintain your account open as it is, what you can do is to open an online account. For example, I think it's called Revolut. Revolut is one of the online banks. And they do accept British pounds, they do accept transfers, you know, like from UK if you need some payments to be done. And since this is an online bank account, there are no such strict rules. There are a lot of companies like this, but I'm sure a lot of you mentioned that one once to me when we were talking about banks. So if you need an alternative, maybe that's a thing to do. The other option is to pass it to your family member's account, and then they'll just make you a transfer somehow. But there are also going to be additional charges for it. So it's getting really, really expensive. A lot of banks, they simply say that it does not make any sense. It's not profitable any longer to maintain the accounts to make operations with Spain. So we'll see how this is going to end. Obviously, still 6 months up until that will happen, but better to think before than afterwards when it's too late. Next news that I wanted to share with you all is what you can or cannot bring while you're traveling between Spain and UK. A lot of people were asking me that I tried to bring chocolate or I tried to bring this and this and that, and I was stopped and I could not do so. So what is actually happening? What can I bring back from Spain to my country as a souvenir or as some type of typical Spanish food? And I have all the list right in here. I do want to say that it's way easier if you travel from Spain to UK. There's not a lot of restrictions concerning food. However, if you do travel from UK to Spain, you need to be really careful because regulations are way more strict, they're way more severe, and they do not allow a lot of the products that from Spain to UK you're actually able to bring. First of all, let's start with biscuits. Biscuits is something that you're allowed to bring without any kind of issues, unless they do have in between some kind of a non-treated milk cream, whipped cream product, then it's not the case. In general, for you to understand, you cannot bring fresh dairy products back to UK. You cannot bring fresh meat, fresh fish, for example, as well. But all products that are fresh, you need to be careful with that. No fruit, no vegetables, obviously. But processed foods, you can do so without any kind of issue. So biscuits, cakes without no fresh cream, but you can bring cakes. Bread, once again. Chocolate and confectionery. You can bring traditional Spanish turrón, typical Spanish chocolates, dates, like a lot of different things you can bring there. Unless it does have, once again, some kind of fresh, unprocessed dairy things inside. But if it's not the case, you can freely bring that. There's no limitations on the quantity of these products, by the way. You can bring some pasta packs, not cooked, dried pasta packs. If you love Spanish pasta, you can do so without any kind of issues. Noodles as well. You can bring even packaged dry soups with you. Plant products, plant-based products as well. This is not an issue at all. Green salads. You can also bring alcohol and food supplements. Alcohol, you have to be really careful because there are some limitations per liters that is considered safe and that is considered not for external sale, afterwards, not for the business. So you need to check that. There is different control for wine, different control for different alcohol types, so you need to take that into consideration while you buy it and try and transport these things back to UK. For example, if you want to buy jamón serrano or traditional Spanish cheese, what if you want to bring that to your friends and relatives? You can do so. Jamón serrano, while these products are packed and labeled correctly, so when you buy them at the shop actually with the label, then that's not an issue at all. You can buy it, you can transport it, there's no limitation for that, as well as for different types of cheeses. Only if it's piece of cheese cut without no packaging at all, just put into a paper and just stored, then it's not good. They cannot check where it's coming from and that it's been processed correctly. But if it's in original packaging, if you have the receipt, even if you don't, but if it's in a packaging that shows that it's been treated right from a specific company, why not? You can actually bring it with you. So it's a great news. Especially knowing that there are not so many limitations right now, so you don't need to be afraid about that. And these are Spanish laws, Spanish borders that allow to bring this to UK. It's accepted in UK. These products from Spain, once again, no vegetables, no fruit, no fresh meat, no fresh fish, no unprocessed dairy products, but all the rest you are allowed to do so. Some limitations are in here, especially for alcohol type of things. So you need to check that in advance before you travel, but I don't think you'll be transporting 42 liters of something, of some substances or some alcohol when you're traveling back, because it's just a lot in luggage, It's 40 bottles. So if it's not the case, all the rest is good to go. Obviously, not talking about souvenirs and different things that you purchase here in Benidorm. You can transport that without any kind of limitations at all. And now let's talk about the weather. What is happening right now in Spain? The weather is really strange these days, and this is why. We've been having quite a few days when it was really difficult to breathe. The humidity was around 80%. Sometimes it went even up until 88%. So we just could barely breathe outside, even though it was windy and even though there were just clouds without any kind of sunshine. but it was just not the best weather. Right now, clouds are slowly disappearing, however, still here. And it's way easier to breathe already. The humidity is also disappearing from here, which is just great news for all people that are here in the area these days. There's going to be some more clouds the upcoming days in here, but it's not going to be raining at all. This is in general like typical weather right now towards the beginning of August. In terms of temperatures, I want to say that they are more or less the ones that should be happening here in the area by the start of the last month of the summer. However, in a lot of parts in Spain, we still reach 40 degrees today. And the next following days, they say it's going to be a new heat wave, but it's not going to be as aggressive, hopefully, as the previous one was. Nevertheless, today we'll have here around 32 degrees in Benidorm area. In Alicante, slightly more, 35. Barcelona 30, Granada 40 degrees, Malaga 31, Sevilla 39. In Madrid 37, Murcia 37, Balearic Islands will have today around 34, Canarian 25 to 30, and Valencia will have the same 31 degrees as it did the previous days. In general, Mediterranean Sea is really nice and warm. It's 28.4 degrees. However, it has us slightly worried because in a lot of the news they actually say that Mediterranean Sea is boiling. Here by the beach, it's not as bad, but in the center as well, like a lot of areas in Mediterranean Sea reached already 30 degrees, which is like a breaking point for the marine life in general, for all the sea life, and it's just not good at all. It's the highest it was in the history of the Mediterranean Sea, which is crazy to know. However, it is how it is. We just hope that the temperatures will not keep rising any longer, because it might bring any serious issues to the marine life and in general for this area. This was the latest news update from Spain and Benidorm area. I hope you enjoyed watching today's news, and I'll see you on Sunday with a new video here on the channel where we'll be trying some more unexplored by us places for traditional Spanish tapas. Will be very interesting. I'll see you then. Bye.